This is the Wild World Podcast. Today we will be debating the Wisconsin werewolf, aka the Beast of Bray Road, chatting about cats in the media, talking about a fossil that may belong to the largest reptile of all time, and much more. Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the Wild World Podcast. I'm your host Thomas from the Wild World YouTube channel, and joining me, as always, is my co-host Mika.
Happy May. This is my personal favorite month, so I'm happy.
Why is it your favorite month?
Oh, I just think the weather's nice.
Fair enough. We've got a lot of fun topics today, but first, what's on your wildlife radar?
First, I want to correct something that we said in the last episode. It's a very sad and embarrassing moment for me. I hope we can all work together to move past it. So I misidentified a nutria as a muskrat. I just didn't realize that nutria were in the area. Nutria have a scleral face and they're bigger than muskrats. And muskrats are lovely native animals, but nutria are invasive pests. So that's sort of a letdown. They are from South America and are introduced for their fur.
And we were made aware of this mistake by a fellow YouTuber by the name of Bumblebee, who runs the channel Hive Sci, and she makes a variety of different content related to wildlife and science in general, I suppose. She even discusses some cryptids. In fact, I was part of her live stream show, 90 Years of Nessie, along with a few other YouTubers, and the author of Abominable Science, or one of the authors, Donald Prothero, and we talked all about the Loch Ness Monster. So make sure to go over there and take a look at that and subscribe to her channel. She makes a lot of great content.
Yeah, I think multiple people pointed it out as well, so it's pretty embarrassing for us, right? Another big thing that probably everyone who uses the internet has seen is the bear memes. Do you have any thoughts on the bear memes?
Maybe you should explain it just in case.
Yeah, so there was this meme. Depending on when you first heard about the meme, you wouldn't have gotten all the context maybe. But it was basically women would rather be alone in the woods with a bear than with a man? And then it incited lots of angry discussions and stuff because, it's not about... men were really angry. They were like, oh, but bears are really dangerous. Why don't women believe bears are dangerous? But it was more from a woman's perspective, I guess bears are a danger that people will believe is the main thing, right? But another thing is that if you even look at it statistically, bears are not as dangerous as a human, right? Because humans attack other humans all the time, and bears don't typically attack humans, right?
Yeah.
Right. And also, just for me, removing it from a feminist perspective at all, I would rather see a bear because you don't get to see a bear every day. I get to see random guys all the time. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. So yeah, you could get into the gender politics of it or the exact statistics of well, there are more men around humans than bears, so obviously more men attack, but which is sort of not the point. But for me personally, I just think a bear would be cooler to see, so I would choose the bear.
What kind of bear?
A polar bear. Yeah. And yeah, now you can say, oh, she's so stupid because a polar bear is definitely going to kill her. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just saying I want to see one, okay? Actually, no, I don't care what kind of bear. I've never seen any kind of bear in the wild, so...
That's a shame.
Yeah. Any kind would be fine. What would you choose? Some random man in the woods or some bear in the woods?
I'm a bit confused by what this scenario is. So I'm just going through the woods.
I don't know. I think you're alone and you're maybe lost. It's unclear if you're lost or not. Right? And then you round a bend, you look past a tree, and there's a bear or man. What do you prefer?
I'd prefer to see a bear, I guess, but if I'm lost in the woods, I'd probably need some human help.
Okay, but you think this random human is going to help you? What if this random human is a serial killer,
I guess. What if the bear's a serial killer?
I do agree that you being lost makes it more likely you choose the man. So perhaps the original question doesn't have anything to do with being lost. Maybe you know the way out. Because, yeah, I don't really want to ask a bear for help. I don't think the bear will help me. So yeah, bear memes. They really swept the internet by storm. Who knows what will be the next craze? I'm calling... What's an obscure animal? Huh?
Did you see, like, the response meme?
No? What do you mean?
It was sort of dumb. It was like, it was for men or something. And it was supposed to be like, would you rather have a bear or a woman drive you in a car?
Oh, right. I sent that to you.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've heard that on some podcasts that I shouldn't be watching as well.
And it was like, well, if you're upset by this, then you're the problem woman. It's like, well, it's just so stupid. Like, because a bear can't drive at all. It's just...
Yeah, like going into the woods with a bear probably has a little bit of risk, but having a bear drive you has a lot of risk.
Yeah, it's very disingenuous.
Yeah.
But if a bear could drive me, though, I would definitely choose the bear because it would be really exciting. It would be like, look, guys, who else has been driven by a bear? Not many people.
Well, the bear has like road rage, though.
Well, what if the woman has road rage?
I suppose. You would just choose the bear in every scenario.
Yeah, I would probably choose the animal in most scenarios. But that's not related to the central argument of the meme. It's just related to me wanting to see an animal. Okay. There's some other things that have happened recently. I thought it was interesting how similar these occurrences were. There were horses and zebras running wild in London and a small town in Washington state. My thoughts on this were nature is healing type thing. And they escaped from the trailer and just started running around. And they were captured by this rodeo clown who figured out how to herd them and get them to stop being crazy. Isn't that interesting?
What a hero.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's this clip I wanted to talk about last time, and I forgot to do that. It's a clip of the animals at the zoo in San Antonio during the eclipse, reacting to the eclipse, and I kept it on my phone in an open tab for many, many weeks.
We should describe it anyway, though, because some people, even if we can't share it, some people will be listening to this.
It's a video of zoo animals, San Antonio Zoo, during the solar eclipse. San Antonio Zoo eclipse reaction or something. So this video shows the meerkats running around like normal, and then I guess all group up, and then they go to sleep. They go into their burrows, right? It's really interesting and cute. They look very cuddly. The whooping cranes do a little dance for unknown reasons. It looks like a mating dance, so maybe they only do that at dusk. I just thought it was a cool footage. Y'all should look it up. And more recent astronomical phenomena, the Northern Lights. Many people, or the Southern Lights, many people around the world could see them last week. I couldn't. It was cloudy, and I was a little bit too far south. And then the day when it was perfect, we were too tired to go up and look. But then the next day we were like, let's go. But then it was too far. It had already moved too far. But some people were more lucky, right?
Yeah, I got to see them pretty clear one night.
You got to see them. And your dog had no reaction.
He was just happy everyone was outside in the dark.
Yeah, so what I was wondering about this is, can animals see the Northern Lights? And I wonder how they felt about it.
The colors weren't that clear unless you had a camera to put up to it. It was kind of faint. And then if a dog doesn't see as many colors as humans...
Well, there are more animals than dogs. So I was wondering how all animals...
I thought you said pets, sorry.
How do you think other animals might have reacted to it? I wonder. Like, what if you're just a bird, and you're trying to fly someplace at night?
Probably asleep.
So many birds migrate at night, actually. So, imagine you're a bird migrating at night, and you see the Northern Lights. Do you freak out?
I didn't hear of anything like that happening.
Anyway, so are we going to go on to Cryptid Court?
I guess so.
We're switching it up today.
On Halloween night 1991, Doris Gibson, a high school senior, was driving down Bray Road when she hit a bump. Fearing she had hit someone's dog, she got out to check what had happened. She saw something on the road behind her. She was unsure what it was, but it looked big. Then, she could hear its feet pounding against the asphalt as it started running towards her. She rushed back into her car and started to drive away, but not before the creature lunged at her car, leaving claw marks on her trunk. So today, we're talking about the Beast of Bray Road.
Yes, it's otherwise known as the man wolf, the bear wolf, or the indigenous dog man.
Or the werewolf of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And probably more names that we don't know.
Yeah. This was a creature spotted in Elkhorn, Walworth County, Wisconsin. It's the subject of books, documentaries, and a 2005 horror film, which the horror film was basically just a werewolf film. It has a very strong opinion on what this beast is. We should probably watch that. We didn't have time to watch it in advance, but we should probably watch it, right? The most famous coverage of it was in the 1980s through 90s in the local newspaper, the Walworth County Week by Linda Godfrey. So I heard that she was asked to cover this story, and she was like, what? And she wasn't into it, right? But then she went to start on the story, and she visited the local sheriff or something, and he had this whole file full of these sightings up to the earliest one was 1936. And she started getting intrigued, and as she talked to people, she started believing them because they were convincing, right?
Yeah, I think it was Animal Control was the city official that had the manila folder that said werewolf or something on it. Mm-hmm. And someone actually contacted her about the 1936 sighting after, maybe before her book, but after she had published in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she wrote a series in the newspaper, and then she wrote a book as well called The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf. Yeah, so this creature...
I was just going to say she coined the term The Beast of Bray Road because she didn't want to say werewolf at first because she thought it might have a more natural explanation.
Right, and she also wants to be a serious journalist, not a, paranormal...
sensationalist, yeah.
Yeah. So this creature was about 6 to 7 feet tall, or about 2 meters. It's humanoid. I saw several descriptions talking about how its legs don't bend the way a dog leg would, but more like a human leg.
Oh, I saw the opposite.
Whoa.
I saw that its legs bend backwards.
I saw that its legs bent in a way that you wouldn't expect from an animal. Okay, well, anyway, it's definitely covered in fur. It has a wolf-like head, perhaps, and it has glowing red or orange eyes. Sometimes it's a quadruped, sometimes it's a biped, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think about this?
Pretty intriguing. I like this setting. Bray Road apparently is only 4 miles long, and it's right in the countryside, and it hasn't changed in generations. All the farmers that own property around there have been living there for generations and generations. It's pretty creepy, and it goes into some wild directions.
That story that we heard a podcast on, was that this animal, or was that something else? The thing about the dog man? Remember,
and that was Linda Godfrey who was being interviewed.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, we listened to a podcast about this a long time ago. And so the dog that was running through the cornfields along with the car, or the person on the bike or whatever it was, that was this?
It was either this or just a dog man in general. I don't know if it was in Bray Road.
What do we have to say about this? I guess we can start with talking about the different sightings. So the first known sighting was in 1936 at a school in rural Jefferson. Mark Shackleman, the night watchman, saw a hunched shadow on all fours digging into an old Native American burial mound. Which, what's up with that, right? I mean, if you're an animal trying to get food, you wouldn't go to an old burial mound. So that makes it seem more paranormal to me. It had a shaggy canine face but muscular body of a man underneath thick fur. It ran away, and he saw it the next night too, but it also ran away then. Apparently an exorcism had taken place a few years before. This is such a vague statement. I don't know what that means. Oh, I guess they think it was a demon, right?
Yeah, there's a documentary about it by Small Town Monsters. Linda Godfrey is in it, and A good section of the documentary is about like the occult and Satanism and how like people think it could be a demon. Apparently there was a priest who came forward and said he had done an exorcism a few years before and he had a problem with the demon being in the area or something.
Okay, so theory one, it could be a demon. In the 1980s, it started scratching cars. The opening story of someone hitting it on Bray Road. The creature chased her back into her car and then chased her car, and it only didn't like follow her home because it was raining and the car was slippery, which I thought was sort of a funny thing. Like,
I didn't hear that
it
part.
slipped off the car. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was a different one. That was when it scratched the car. In the 90s, there was a girl driving her car. It left onto her trunk and slipped off because of the rain.
Oh, okay.
It's also been spotted running on all fours after a deer through cornfields. And there have been some animal mutilations. In 2017, a retired school teacher bought some farmland. He left roadkill and holes around his property. Was that like to bait it or was that just for fun?
That was to bait it. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. And he found the animals taken out with their entrails removed. He didn't see anything on his trail cams. It's also been seen in 2018 and 2020. And here's an interesting thing. Apparently, people have seen multiples at a time. I didn't see any sightings where this was true, but they're saying that it's a population, not a paranormal creature, using that evidence.
There was, in the documentary, there was a guy who owned a farm about 40 miles north of Bray Road, and said he saw multiple with other
like
farmers.
Babies? Little babas?
No, I think they were all adults.
Oh.
Or all fully grown, I don't know.
There's also a 3-toed print found by a marsh around 2020. Don't really have much to say about that.
The teacher from the 2017 sighting said he had a print as well. And when he had it examined, they said it was an abnormal coyote print.
What is this picture?
I don't know, it looks like a dog.
Like, look at those arms. They're like skeletons or something.
Yeah. It doesn't even look that tall.
It looks like a person. No, wait. The legs, though, look like a dog. It looks like a dog that's been trained to wear this weird thing on its head that looks like a wolf head. And for some reason, and then they've put these like skeleton arms on the top. I don't know. It's very confusing. It could be Photoshop, I suppose.
It could be. I don't know. I always thought of like doing that with a dog to try and make like a dog man. Either fake photo or footage. What I'd do is I'd wear like one of those green screen suits.
Yeah.
Have the dog jump up and have its arms on my arm so it can walk on 2 legs.
Is that why your dog is so good at doing that? Because you've been training him for this moment? This hoax?
I don't think he'd work. I think it would need to be like a German Shepherd or something. And then it would be way off in the distance in a blurry, shaky camera.
Yeah.
And green screen it out. And then
you don't think anyone would believe that there's a cryptid that's half human, half labradoodle? Half white labradoodle? Yeah, it's too domestic. That's what they'd say. Yeah, so I wrote down some animals or things that people have said it was. So we already said demon. Some people think a misidentified gray wolf, a misidentified big dog, mass hysteria / hoax, like someone's out there playing a trick and other people are seeing things because they're primed to see it. A mangy bear, a werewolf, Bigfoot, skunk ape, wahila. I don't know what wahila is.
I don't know. It sounds like a Native American creature.
Right. So wahila it's like a wolf, a giant white wolf from like a saber wolf. It's a native creature of legend, an evil spirit with supernatural powers. There's also the Shankawarakin I saw. I also don't know what that is. Oh, it's also a folklore creature, large, like a wolf or a hyena. Its name means to carries off dogs. What else? Perhaps it was different sightings that were of different things, and they're lumped in as one creature. One thing said it was a hellhound, because one sighting said it kept going, Gadara, Gadara.
That's from the first sighting.
Sound like a wolf.
That's or no, it's not.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the first one. I think on the second day it was saying is supposedly a place in the New Testament where Jesus exorcised a person of demons or something like that. With demons?
Yes, it's where the demon was exorcised. The demon of Jesus performed one of these miracles in Gadara, exorcised a demon out of a man and into a herd of swine. The swine drowned themselves. So apparently this creature, I guess in 1936, would keep saying Gadara. So he thought it was a hellhound. And then also it could be a cryptid canine. So it could be something totally new. Which of these theories do you think is most likely?
Well, I think it's probably a combination. When it's running on all fours, it's hard for it not to be a regular animal like a wolf, or I don't know if black bear are in that particular area, but I think they are in Wisconsin in general.
So why would these creatures run after the cars and jump onto them if they are, whatever you said, if they're a dog or a wolf?
That part I don't know. I just meant the one chasing a deer through the cornfields. That sounds like it could just be a bear.
That one seems very just straightforward, but why would they be scratching cars and chasing cars?
I don't know. It could be like a bear with some kind of injury that's driving it crazy.
Right. Well, does mange cause animals to behave crazy or just look ugly?
Doesn't it just make their skin really itchy?
Yeah, so
Well, I was thinking if it had like a paw injury, then it would be like really angry all the time, and then also would want to walk on two legs more often than not.
Maybe. Do you think it is a demon?
Not really. I think though I don't know how much of the occult stuff is correct. In the documentary they were saying like there are groups of teenagers that were like doing stuff like that more as pranks and jokes, and they're like, but there was a serious group of adults doing it. But I think if there was that stuff going on, there could very likely have been some hoaxes, especially in the 80s and 90s when this became popular and tourists were coming to like just drive up and down Bray Road. I imagine some people may have taken the opportunity to try and hoax.
We should drive up and down Bray Road.
I'd like to.
We should have like a whole branch of the podcast where we go do these things. Really get out there and experience it instead of sitting at home safe and sound.
Yeah, and making up our theories.
Yeah, we don't know anything. Yeah, I guess I believe that people saw something, but I don't believe that it's has to be anything more than an occasional bear or wolf.
I mean, it did do odd things, I suppose. But yeah, a bear with mange, sort of like a thin or an emaciated bear with some kind of, wouldn't even have to have mange then, because it would just be like, imagine that standing on two legs. It's basically kind of looks like the shape of a werewolf, the pointy snout, the ears, the hairy body.
Yeah, and honestly that could explain some of the car scratchings as well, because bears do like to break into human things and try to eat the food. Yeah. So imagine if it was a starving bear and it doesn't know how to hunt for itself and it's trying to get into the cars with food in them. That could happen.
Yeah.
You don't think it's a Bigfoot or a skunk ape or a werewolf?
Not really. It is interesting though that across the border in Michigan they have the dog man, which is a similar cryptid. Maybe it's a population of them. Right.
Well, many people are saying it is a population. So I'll quote Fredrickson. I don't know why my notes say Fredrickson, the human officer. I don't know what that means. Presumably he's some sort of officer. I'm sorry. And he's human as well. He still sticks to his coyote or wolf. Sometimes when a wolf or coyote is ready to pounce on an animal, it'll spring up, which gives the illusion that it's standing. If they caught sight of the animal at just the moment it was lunging, it could have appeared to be on two legs, which, yeah, is pretty compelling.
Yeah.
One other thing, when I was researching this, I came upon this website and it had a comment underneath. I thought it was interesting. The comment is from a person whose name on the internet is Monster Hunter. Okay? This comment was left by Monster Hunter. Wisconsin has a big werewolf problem. Luckily, I am a monster hunter and I have reasonable prices and a thirst for adventure. Just call. And then he gives a phone number.
Did you call it?
No, I didn't call it. Should we call it on air right now?
I don't know. Should we?
Should we? Just to see who this Monster Hunter guy is?
After we said it, I feel like now we have to do it.
Should we call him? That's scary. You can't do it because it's an American number. Do you really want me to do this? I can, I guess. I sort of don't want to.
I don't really want to either, but I feel like we've teased our audience.
Well, how can I put a call audio onto the podcast though?
You just have to put it on speaker, I guess.
Right, and put it up next to the thing. Fine, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it. Because it could just be this weird person on the internet and he has my number. Oh. Do you really want me to do it?
Can you not restrict? Let's just not do it. If we ever hit like some massive goal on the podcast, we'll call we'll do some live calls.
Sure. So we'll add that. This will be the first number that we call if we get up to what? Some amount of subscribers?
I guess 10K or something.
How many do we have now? 1.2K?
1,200.
Okay, so when we get to 10K, we'll call this person and any other monster hunters or other related things, okay?
Okay.
That sounds great.
Gotta help us get there.
Yes. Okay, so I wrote a note for that. Do we have any last thoughts on the Beast of Bray Road?
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to be in a forest with either a bear or the Beast of Bray Road, which would you choose?
The Beast of Bray Road, obviously. The same reason I was choosing the bear before. Wow. It's more interesting.
That means bears have to change.
Yeah, they have to be cryptids, and then I'll be more interested in them.
Imagine if they were cryptids and somehow no one ever, officially discovered them.
I heard about this thing called a bear. Actually...
you probably saw a wolf.
One thing I find interesting about bears is that they're a really good example of the taboo part of linguistics, which is that when something is really, really scary or bad, languages don't use that word, so they avoid it. So there was originally a word for bear that's different, but people... Well, okay, think of it like a swear word. There are these swear words that you're not supposed to say, right? Because they're bad. So then you come up with other words that are, sort of beat around the bush, or that sound sort of similar but aren't that word. And so in that way, inappropriate things or scary things change much more quickly in a typical language than other words, such as mother, which pretty much is the same around the world. I don't remember if it was bear. Oh, it's from Proto-Germanic barrow. Okay, yeah. So this is what I was talking about, which in Proto-Germanic, this word means gray or brown. So because people were afraid to say the word for bear, they started just calling it that gray thing, that brown thing. So we don't actually know what it was called before. It had some proto name. So in that way, in some sense, a bear is a cryptid. Because it's strikes fear into people. They don't know exactly what it is. They don't want to talk about exactly what it is. You know what I mean? I just thought that was cool. Anyway, yeah, bears were cryptids. What a wild world.
So, just very quickly summarize, you think it was just regular animals?
Yeah, I think so. Nothing, not even a cryptid canine, just a combination of some bears, some wolves, maybe some dogs, and maybe some pranks.
Yeah, I guess I have to agree. It is intriguing though, and I like listening to Linda Godfrey, who unfortunately, I guess she passed away a couple of years back.
Yeah, she didn't live long enough to hear our podcast about it, which I'm sure she cared about.
She knows way more about it than us.
Yeah.
Than we ever will, I suppose.
Yeah. Should we move on to wildlife news?
Yep. Do you want to go first?
Sure. This is a story from April. So there was a bone found on an English beach by an 11-year-old in 2020. It belongs to the largest marine reptile known. That's 82 feet long. It lived right before the end of the Triassic. It was an ichthyosaur, the name of Ichthyotitan severnensis, twice the length of a city bus. What I was confused about when I read this was I feel like this story has happened so many times. Girl on an English beach finds a bone, it's from a reptile. It's is this deja vu? Or is it really just the same story being updated with new details?
There was another story of, I think it was called Shoniosaurus, which was also a huge ichthyosaur that they thought was possibly the biggest reptile of all time. But I think Ichthyotitan seems like it might be bigger.
So every so often, they just come up with a new person on a new beach finds a new bone that is a new, bigger ichthyosaur? Is that what you're saying? It's not the same one, it's different ones?
I think so. But with this,
Wow.
I feel like it's always early days. Though there's gonna be a bunch of estimates and papers that come out really quickly to try and ride the wave, and then as years go on, it's gonna shrink and grow, and it's gonna go back and forth about what genus it's in and everything. So I don't know. I feel like in like a couple of years, there's gonna be a paper that comes out that says, "Oh, it was actually only 60 feet long. It just had what bone was it? Was like a vertebrae or something."
It was the jawbone. The largest fragment was 8 inches long.
The jaw.
Part of the jaw.
It was like with Leopleurodon. They used to think it was like over 80 feet long, and they're like, wait, no, it just had a huge head.
So basically, this is the quintessential English girl experience, to walk along a beach and find a bone of a marine reptile, right? How come, like...
Yeah, it's like Mary Anning.
Yeah, exactly. She's the original. I want to have this experience, but I'm not an English girl, so I can't. It's very sad. I never walk along foggy beaches in England.
We should go there and see if we can find... They always find megalodon teeth as well. I see that all the time. Like, 5-year-old finds a bunch of... or finds, like, one megalodon tooth on the beach.
Fetus finds the largest megalodon tooth ever. That's where this trend is going.
Do you know that rhyme, she sells seashells on the seashore?
Yeah. Isn't that about Mary Anning?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Or it could be about her. It's not confirmed.
Cool. All right, you have a story now.
Yep. So a few times we talked a little bit about quolls, those little marsupial guys over in Australia.
Not koalas, but qualls.
No, not koalas. Just a general question. What threats do you think they might face?
Cats?
Correct.
Disease? Car
Probably.
crashes?
Car crashes?
I mean, cars hitting them? Lack of habitat and food?
Mm-hmm.
Poison?
Yep. So, I think that's mostly correct. So I'm specifically thinking about the northern quolls. You said the cats, the feral cats. And there's another animal that's causing them problems. Can you guess what it is?
Dingo?
No, it's related to poison.
It's an animal that's related to poison? Is it like a toad? A cane toad or something?
Yeah, exactly. The cane toad. Do you know why the cane toad were originally brought to Australia?
Like, to do something stupid, like control some other animal that shouldn't have been there?
Sort of. I don't know if the other animals shouldn't have been there. It was to control... They thought it would control the bugs that were eating their crops.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Stupid.
it didn't work.
Yeah, and then they had to bring in stuff to eat the frogs, and then that thing didn't work. So it was like, that's how Australia is. Like, a whole chain of animals all brought in to solve this one problem that they didn't ever solve. It's horrible.
So I guess the northern quoll, it's a carnivorous animal, and it likes to eat small frogs. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it tries to eat cane toads, but dies pretty quickly because they're poisonous. So what do you think we could maybe do about this?
We could give them a vaccine to make them immune to the poison. We could
That's very
microdose them
close.
with the poison, like in The Princess Bride, where he microdoses himself with that poison so that he eventually becomes immune to it.
And then he can trick the toads.
Yes, he can trick the toads.
No
Yeah,
offense to
or
that
either
guy,
that-
Wallace Shawn, but I feel like he'd be a good voice actor for a toad in an animated movie.
He would. Let's get him on here and have him play as a toad the whole time. Like, you can't speak as yourself. You have to be a toad, please.
Inconceivable.
Also, I guess there could be things like how they're genetically engineering mosquitoes to not have malaria. They could genetically engineer the toads to not have poison or something. Or to have less, I don't know, to
You're
not
so
be able to
close.
breed.
So
Something like that.
one of the plans they're trying to do now is genetically engineer the quolls to have a better resistance to the toads. It's actually, the company that's behind it is Colossal Bioscience, I think. Have you heard of them before?
Aren't they trying to bring back the mammoth or something?
Yeah, they're trying to bring back the mammoth and the thylacine and maybe the dodo.
And the passenger pigeon.
Are they trying to do that as well?
Maybe it's a different company, but yeah.
Yeah, so basically they're experimenting with gene editing and doing some trials. They were able to make a cell from the northern quoll like 45 times more resistant to cane toads. So they're hoping to be able to, I guess, breed some with this new gene and then start releasing them. Mm-hmm. Which would be pretty beneficial, not just for the quoll population, but then the quolls will also be able to eat cane toads and get rid of more of them.
That's good.
Yeah. And then they're hoping they can even use this for other animals. Can you guess what other animals they might want to be able to eat the toads?
koalas that can stop eating eucalyptus all the time. Like dingoes or something. I don't know.
Maybe, but for now I think they were just saying like other reptiles like freshwater crocodiles,
Yeah.
snakes, and goannas. I thought it was pretty cool. I think this is maybe a little bit better use of their time than trying to bring back a mammoth.
Yeah, you should email them that.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it is a good use of their time and money and everything.
Yeah. Well, that's my
cute.
story.
That's a good story. Uplifting story. Okay, so should we move on to Wild Chat today?
Yes.
So my idea for Wild Chat today was to talk about, we already did this with sharks, so I thought let's do it with big cats because we've been talking about big cats a lot. What are the best and worst representations of big cats in film? So I wrote down the films I've seen that I remember had big cats in them. There's Two Brothers, which I mentioned as being one of the reasons I love tigers. Burning Bright, which if you haven't heard of it or seen it, it's about a girl that gets locked in a house with a tiger. A girl and her autistic brother, I think.
Yeah, and because their evil stepdad wants to kill them or something.
Spoiler alert.
Was that a spoiler?
Yeah, you don't realize that he was on purpose or whatever until the middle.
I'm
or
sorry.
Something. Anyway.
I thought it was obvious.
Well, people get locked in a house with a tiger. Then there's Life of Pi, where someone is stuck on a boat with a tiger. Or was it a tiger? Oh my goodness. Who knows? So those are the tiger movies. Then we have The Lion King, which is about lions. If you've never heard of The Lion King, I don't know how to help you. There's Born Free, which is like, is it a true story or based on a true story or not? I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Born Free is a really good movie about these like people who raise these lions in Africa. I think they're scientists or something. And it's a true story. It's these people who adopt an orphaned lion cub and raise her. But she's born free, so she eventually goes back to live in the wild. Then there's The Wizard of Oz, which has a cowardly lion in it. He's very cowardly, but actually, spoiler alert, he's not that cowardly. He's very brave. We have the Narnia movies, which has Aslan as a lion. And then we have Madagascar, which has a lion who goes to Madagascar. However, there aren't lions in Madagascar, but he doesn't know that, I guess. He's the only lion there, and he encounters fosses, which are feliform but not feline. They're more like mongooses or civets. They're very mean in that movie. I have Tarzan, which has the leopard that Tarzan kills, the leopard that killed his parents. There's the Pink Panther, which I was like, what kind of animal is the Pink Panther? I guess he's a leopard. He's a pink leopard.
I guess so.
Then the Jungle Book has multiple big cats in it. It has Bagheera, black leopard, right? And then Shere Khan, the tiger. There's also Night at the Museum, which has reanimated animals.
Does it have big cats?
Yeah, from the exhibit of the like taxidermy, the lions come to life, or maybe there's more than lions, but yeah. Then there were 3 movies. I didn't know if you'd seen them or heard of them, so I didn't know if you should include them, but you can see them.
Mighty Joe Young, The Ghost in the Darkness. I've seen that. People always are commenting that under the line
The Ghost
video.
in the Darkness?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Okay, so it's about man-eating lions, right?
Yeah.
And then Bringing Up Baby, it's a classic movie from the olden days. I haven't seen it, but she has a pet leopard in it. We don't have to discuss things that we haven't seen, but anyway. How many of these movies have you seen, first of all?
I've seen Two Brothers. I've seen Burning Bright. I haven't seen Life of Pi.
Really? Have you read it?
Nope.
Whoa. Crazy. Okay.
Haven't seen Born Free. Seen The Wizard of Oz. Seen at least one Narnia movie. And Madagascar, Ghost in the Darkness, Tarzan. I've seen some episodes of The Pink Panther, I think. Seen The Jungle Book. I feel like there's more that we're forgetting.
Well, I didn't want to include ones that are, like, documentaries.
Yeah.
Anyway, we might have missed something, but these were the ones that came to mind. I did do an IMDb search by keyword, so I feel like I got a lot. Let's start with the worst representations of felines in film. The Wizard of Oz, because lions don't walk on 2 legs, link arms with you, and go skipping down the yellow brick road.
The Beast of the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes, the sequel. Narnia movies is a very bad representation of lions because it's not even supposed to be a lion. It's an allegory for, like, Jesus. And I'm sorry, but a lion is not going to let you ride on its back and save you in a big battle. Yeah, and probably if a lion is killed, even if it's on an ancient stone table, the lion will not come back to life. But you never know,
I can't believe you came at me for spoilers. You've spoiled the ending of 2 movies so far.
Can we just put a giant spoiler alert sound before the beginning of this discussion?
I guess so.
Okay. I think everyone knows that the Narnia series is an allegory for the Bible and that Aslan comes back to life. I'm sorry.
I had forgotten that he even died, and I'd seen the movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, Madagascar, I actually don't even know if I've even seen it all the way through, but it's probably not a good representation because I remember I didn't like it very much.
Yeah, I think
it's
they
just like a stupid kids movie.
They just did it as in, like, the Cowardly Lion again. Like that style of character, except actually a lion.
Oh, right. And since we already agreed the Cowardly Lion is not accurate, yeah. Because lions are not very cowardly, I would say. But that's what makes him a bad lion, is that he's cowardly, and that's why he's so ashamed of himself. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think of The Ghost in the Darkness?
That's a pretty good movie. And I mean, it's based on a true story, so...
So it's a good representation, then, of big cats?
Yeah, the only thing is the 2 male lions of Savo didn't have manes. The male lions, they don't have manes, but they had manes in the movie.
Oh, I just thought of another movie. Spirit, with the horse narrated by Matt Damon. And in that movie, the horse has to kill the mountain lion that's stalking the horses.
I just thought of another one as well. Homeward Bound.
What? When does Homeward Bound have a...
It has a mountain lion.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah, because I remember Chance, I guess. He sees it, and then he runs back to the other dog, and he tells him that he saw, like, a huge cat, and the other dog doesn't believe him.
Oh, yeah. That's sort of cute. I like that description of the mountain lion. Oh, I will also say that the Pink Panther is probably the worst example of a cat that I've listed here. It has nothing to do with leopards' biology at all. They're not pink. They don't solve crimes. They're not very funny.
It could be funny. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I guess I've never heard a joke told by a leopard, but...
I just mean they might do funny things like cats do, like domestic cats.
Yeah. True, cats are funny. Well, let's talk about if we think any of these are very good representations. Actually, like Two Brothers, do you think it's a good representation of tigers? Or is it more feel-good family film, not accurate?
Well, from what I remember, didn't the tigers start to get out of control after a while and they had to release them?
Yeah.
Because the premise is both tigers were basically taken, like, one for a pet and then one for, like, the circus.
Circus, yeah.
Although, would they be able to be released into the wild if they were raised in those conditions?
Normally not, but they remembered each other. Because they were released together, they had this pair bond. I don't know. I don't think it would actually help, but it was like they reminded each other of how to hunt. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more like they're stunted. They're still in the mindset of being little baby tigers, but they're able to remind each other of what life in the wild is like, and so maybe they have a bit more chance. I wouldn't totally discount it that this could happen, that 2 tigers who have gone through trauma could help each other to survive in the wild if they like each other enough.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm not a tiger biologist.
Unlikely, but not impossible, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Burning
reasonably
Bright,
okay.
Did you think Burning Bright was a good representation of a tiger?
I mean, the tiger was just trying to... Well, the tiger was already a man-eater, and that's from the beginning they say that. And then it was trying to...
Which was crazy. Like, why? Oh, right, because he's like, I need a man-eater for my circus because I want it to be super crazy and awesome. But that was a lie, because he was actually trying to kill those kids.
And he was starving it. And then it was locked in a house. Right, he was starving the
tiger.
So a tiger that had already eaten people was locked in a house with people, and it was starving, and it was trying to eat people. I guess it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's normal animal behavior. Life of Pi, I quite liked how in Life of Pi he, spoiler alert, he is able to train the tiger not to hurt him by like doing putting up strategic barriers and sometimes hurting the tiger and sometimes giving the tiger food in a way that the tiger was like, it's too much effort to attack this person. I don't really remember the details, but But then the whole point of the movie and the book is that no one believes him, and they're like, this is impossible, and you couldn't have done that with a tiger. There's no way you'd be alive. There's no way you and the tiger would be alive. But then he's saying, like, do you believe the good story, or do you believe what's more plausible? So it's sort of a moot point if this is plausible for the tiger. But I did find it an interesting portrayal of how you would survive on a boat with a tiger. So it's so inaccuracy. Born Free, I think, is very good. I haven't seen it since I got a degree and was an adult. But I think it's based on a true story, so it should be pretty accurate. You should watch it. Haven't you heard that song? It's like, born free, free as the wind blows.
Yeah.
Are we going to get copyrighted for that?
I hope not.
You looked so scared. I sing it bad enough that I don't think we will. But I just remembered another movie that we were supposed to watch for ages. Remember Roar? Yeah, but that is like, has real footage.
Yeah, that's just people, they just started filming on a ranch where this guy had a bunch of lions and tigers wandering around.
Yeah. Tarzan, when he kills that leopard, and the leopard is like the evil leopard that kills his parents, do you think that's accurate? I think that leopard was trying way too hard to kill him. And to kill his parents. And to kill the baby him. Like, this is just a tiny little baby, and then the gorilla is, like, carrying him away, and the leopard's like, I desperately want that baby. Like, just go someplace else and do something else.
Yeah, after a certain point, I feel like it wouldn't be worth the energy.
And he always shows up whenever people are having a moment to kill their, kill their parents, kill their baby, whatever. It's terrible. So I don't know if he's a villain, and it's not realistic that a leopard would be so evil.
Okay, people are probably going to comment about, like, man-eating leopards and stuff underneath, because there have been a lot of them.
I guess, but he just put so much effort into it, and he's like getting beaten up by Tarzan, and he's like, I gotta keep going with my evil plots. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The mountain lion spirit, I guess.
I don't even remember the mountain lion spirit.
He was this rascally good-looking fella, and then Spirit had to go and beat him up. And then after he gets beaten up, Spirit doesn't kill him. He slinks away in shame and like defeat. I think a mountain lion would do that. I think a male horse protecting his pride would beat up a mountain lion, and that the mountain lion would go away. I don't know how easy it would be for the horse to beat the mountain lion, though. That's the only thing.
I don't know.
Because Spirit just escaped through his really strong bucking powers, which are demonstrated later on when he's trying to be broken by the evil American soldier people.
He wasn't evil. He nodded at him at the end, remember?
He was evil.
He gave him a nod.
He was evil. He tried to kill, like, all the Native American people, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't remember the movie that well.
It's a really good movie. You should rewatch it. Did you think it was accurate in Homeward Bound? I don't think it really had that much of a presence, so...
Yeah, I think it was just like one scene that it tried to attack them, and they didn't they like build a seesaw or something?
Probably something crazy like that. Yeah, I feel like a mountain lion would do that, try to kill the pets that are wandering unsupervised through the wilderness.
Yeah.
Jungle Book. What do you think of the Bagheera versus Shere Khan, Kings of the Jungle type thing?
Well, I don't think Bagheera would help the man
Protect
cub.
Mowgli.
I think the tiger would want to kill Mowgli, though.
Yeah, but would the tiger be motivated by his hatred for humans and something about fire and all that stuff?
Well, there's a lot of stories about tigers seeking revenge.
Really? Like actual revenge, or you think it's motivated by emotion like that?
Well, there was that story from like Eastern Russia, and
where
Sobolinya.
It followed the person home or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But do you think a tiger motivated by revenge would ally with a snake? And do you think a panther motivated to protect a human being would ally with a bear?
No.
Oh.
Yes, and it is a bit much that Shere Khan is like that hell-bent on that one particular man cub who never actually did anything to him.
Yeah. Poor Mowgli. He just wants to live his life. Raised by wolves, a bear, and a panther. And then he wants to hang out with the orangutan. Or was that a chimpanzee?
Oh, I didn't want to hang out with him.
He did sort of for a little bit, and then he didn't.
Then he
He's like,
realized...
I don't know how to make fire! Help! He thought the dancing and the singing was pretty awesome, though. And all the bananas.
Yeah.
Classic trap. Okay, so I guess what we've concluded is when it's a kids movie made for entertaining, it's not very accurate. When it's a
Homeward
movie
Bound was
about
pretty good.
oh, true.
And Spirit.
When it's like an animated thing about wacky felines going on an adventure, maybe it's not so good. When it's like sort of naturalistic, like Homeward Bound, it's better. When it's based on real events, such as The Ghost in the Darkness or Born Free, it's even better. We didn't talk about Lion King.
Oh.
Is Lion King an accurate representation of a lion, you think?
Well, a lot of people will say that a lion with a darker mane is more likely to attract the lioness or lionesses.
Right, but Scar is also really skinny.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like if they got into a fight, I think which they did, I guess. But if they got into a fair fight, if they got into a fair fight, I didn't spoil it that badly. If they got into a fair fight, I think it's clear that Mufasa would beat him. He's like twice his size.
It doesn't make sense that Mufasa is such a great and benevolent king. Like, he should have killed... male lions frequently kill cubs, right? So if Nala isn't related to him, then she should be dead. So that either means he's not a very strong lion-like leader, or she's Simba's sister.
I think she's his sister, because there's the only other male adult lion is Scar, and I don't think
But according to canon, her father is a rogue lion from a different, like, I don't know. Also, are lions gonna ally with hyenas and or fight a war against hyenas?
Well, they did fight a war against hyenas in
Would
Kenya.
they ally with them to get their own throne back?
Maybe not.
Would lions sing a song about how it's the circle of life and how all these animals out there are like worshiping them, like they're like the king, and then the other animals that they eat are also their subjects, and it's all good. Everyone's cool with it.
They're very full of themselves when I think about it.
Yeah, they're like,
a lot of the songs are just about how great they are.
Everything the light touches is ours. Oh, what about those other animals that live there? They don't matter at all because we can kill them instantly. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, but I guess it's not that accurate, I would say. But it's fun.
No.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts on accuracy in feline film?
No. Is there any like pet peeve you have?
About what?
About like felines in film?
I guess I wouldn't like it. I don't like it when cats are portrayed as evil. So that really bothers me about Tarzan. And I guess the Jungle Book, but not really, because I don't...
Well, there's like one really good cat and one really mean cat.
Well, yeah. Because this is really shown in... this isn't a big cat, but in Lady and the Tramp, where the heroes are the dogs and the villains are the cats. And it just like makes me so upset, because obviously... This was made in the... 60s, I think, or maybe the 50s, and people who were making media thought in tropes a lot of the time, and the trope was like, dog is man's best friend, dog will do anything, dogs are gentle, they will protect the baby, cats are evil, you can't train a cat, like, cats have their own agenda. There's also the Asian, they're really racist against Asians. They combine that with cats are evil to make this like these evil Siamese twin cats, which is very upsetting, because it's like I want to root for the cats, but then they're just the worst Disney characters ever. They're horrible. It's like, yeah, I hate cats too, but then I think, no, I don't hate cats. They just made me hate cats for this movie.
It's like the movie Cats versus Dogs.
Oh yeah.
The dogs are the good guys and the cats are the bad guys.
Yeah, that's so mean. Like, cats are not bad guys. Cats are cuddly and they're good. Well, maybe if the movie was about the, like, wallabies in Australia, the cats could be the bad guys. Or about birds. Do you have a pet peeve about cats in media?
Not really. I guess what you're saying, that they're usually portrayed as the bad guys. Or sometimes just, like, the annoying ones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever notice that in, like, cartoons? Like, there's the dog and then the cat is, like... if not evil, is kind of grumpy and mean all the time.
Yeah. Even in Homeward Bound, the cat's all prissy, like, oh, I don't know, I'm a cat, you dogs are so gross and stupid. I hate you.
Yeah, and I'm all
then
posh
she gets
and
into
pampered.
trouble. Yeah, it's and in the Aristocats as well, the cats are very posh and pampered. But I think that it does a really good job of spinning it around because not only are they posh and pampered, they also have good survival instincts, and they're able to chill with the jazz cats, in Thomas O'Malley, so they're not stuck up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's it for Wild Chat. Feel free to comment and tell us your favorite movies about cats, not about domestic cats, hopefully, or please, because we could have gone on and on.
Please God, not domestic cats.
About wild cats. Yeah. So we don't have any Q&A. We don't have any questions today. We don't have any memes sent to us, unfortunately.
Yeah. As always, you can send it to thewildworldpodcast@gmail.com. That's thewildworldpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you want, you can leave a comment underneath this video and we can answer it in the next episode.
Yeah. So I have 2 comments for you today.
I have 2 for you as well.
What? This has never happened before. Okay, we'll take turns. So my first comment, tell me what video this is from. Disliked for the sound effects.
The giant squid attacks ships.
Right, it's always going to be that one, right? That's the one that's the grossest sound design Oscar goes to. So I don't remember that. Did you make sound effects on purpose, or was it just you had a weird voice that day?
There was like all these...
voice, it was like in the video.
No, I don't think it's my voice they were calling a sound effect.
I just forgot that you put sound effects in.
Yeah, they're all like squishy sound effects and stuff.
So how come you do that, but then when you're making a man-eater video, you don't put in the sounds of like crunching bones? Where do you draw the line?
I don't know. But I mean, after that, a lot of people complained about... You complained about... There's a comment from you saying, I hate the sound effects on this video.
So yeah, you've just decided not to do sound effects no matter what, huh?
I have some, just not that many. Not grotesque ones.
Okay, go on. What's your comment for me?
Mika kind of does sound like a fangirl here when she talks, to be honest.
Is that when I talked about lions versus tigers, and I was like, tigers are so awesome, and I love the jungle, and eat, pray, love, and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you respond?
I'm not really a fangirl. I do like tigers, as we've talked about before, but I don't think that they're a mystical, magical being.
Okay.
I think I was like too, I don't know, I was exoticizing them too much that first time I talked about it, as if I was like, Orientalism and jungles and all that. Like, I was saying, like, those are all the reasons I like tigers. That's not true, and that's like a trope, and I don't want to portray it that way. It's just more of, I think they're cool, and I like jungles more than savanna as a study ecosystem.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realize as well is that lion versus tiger is really popular, but correct me if I'm wrong, but tiger isn't like your favorite wildcat by a good margin. So
I don't know what my favorite wildcat is, but it's not a tiger.
Yeah,
might be a fishing cat.
Yeah, you're a fishing cat fan girl.
Yeah, I really prefer animals that can swim, and fishing cats are the best. Tigers are pretty good at swimming too, though. Can a lion swim? Probably. So, yeah, but I like animals that have something weird about them, like how the fishing cat can dive and all that. Anyway, okay, here's our next comment for you. I bet not many people here actually know the difference between a Yeti and an abominable snowman.
Is there a difference? I thought abominable snowman was just a mistranslation of like Mitch Kangmi or something like that. That means...
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Is there a difference between the Yeti and the abominable snowman?
I don't think so. There's multiple different types of Yeti, though. There's like 3 or 4 or more different like creatures that all kind of fall under the umbrella.
So this person who commented this, they were correct that many people do not actually know the difference between a Yeti and an abominable snowman. And that includes you. And me.
Okay. What's the difference between a mountain lion and a puma?
A puma? Different words from different languages.
Okay. Isn't that the same?
Yeah, I'm just saying, this person has something to say, but they haven't said it yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry I said puma so weird there, everyone. I don't know what happened to my mouth.
This video is unveiling the mystery, the truth behind the Yeti, by the way.
Yeah.
Give me your last comment now. I'm ready.
Okay. Her arguments are incredibly weak.
I think one of the Cryptid Courts where I was like probably really tired and I didn't even do any research. I don't know, like some lake monster probably.
Nope.
I don't know. What is it?
The last one we did, Old Yellowtop.
Really? What's wrong with my arguments?
I don't know. Apparently they're incredibly weak.
Well, I don't even remember what I said, so... Sorry.
I think that person might be a true believer.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that person is Old Yellowtop. Furiously, they're like, I just discovered the internet, now I have to see this?
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
Alright, well thanks very much for listening. If you enjoyed it and you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like. You can comment something if you want. You can give us an insult if you feel like it.
Yeah. Send us a joke, send us a meme, send us a question, a comment, or a concern.
Why do you always say a concern?
Because sometimes people have concerns, and I want them to be able to feel safe sharing their concerns.
You can send us a concern, but I don't know if we can help you.
Yeah. Hopefully. We'll try our best.
Alright. Well, I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.